to Pitbull Guard Dog, Star Trek Fleet Command, YouTube videos for training. Hello, today this is Pitbull Guard Dog. I just did a chest summary. I got 70 Latinum today with a relocation token in my 24-hour chest. Check that out. Thank you, Scopely. Alright, today we are going to learn about part 2 to my video debut. We explained Romulan recruit and what they were used for mostly. Today we're going to explain the Klingon recruit setups and what they're used for. This will also help you understand which officers to use for which ship classes. Plus, there are universal officers that can be on any ship class. Of course, we all know this. And as you move up and get better officers, which there are epic and rares out there that will do better than the ones I'm going to explain, but these are the basics to understand how to use your officers properly. You're welcome by Pitbull Guard Dog and your legendary Pitbull. Here we go. We're going to click View. Let's look at Gorkin. I had explained he could be used on battleships too in my earlier video. But today, we're going to see 10% bonus to critical hit chances for the first 2 rounds. 70% chance to cause a hull breach for 3 rounds when hitting with a critical hit. Awesome there. And that's why I also said he would work good with Nero and Livis. Okay, but this is not their video. This is part 2 to my YouTube debut. Again, we'll go back. That's not bad, those 2. But he's a universal officer. Obviously can be used on all 3 ship classes. Battleship, Explorer, Interceptor. I will get to what's best suited for these particular officers as I go along. We're going to go to Chang. Plus 10% damage if the opponent hull's health is under 60%. That's one you'll get when he's in the captain's chair only by Chang. Okay? But 35% chance to delay opponent's weapon fire when a critical hit on a hull breach. Wow. Let's reread that one. 35% chance to delay opponent's weapon fire with a critical hit on a hull breach. Excellent. So if you get a hull breach, you can get a 30% chance to delay opponent's weapon fire. Pretty cool. Still, another universal officer. It's not ship specific within its abilities, if you understand where I'm coming from now. Let's go to Kurla. 50% to dodge when the shields are depleted. Not bad, so you get extra dodge if your shields are depleted, only if in the captain's chair. But you'll always get plus 20% to critical damage with kinetic weapons. Now it ups your critical chance to damage them. Plus 20% to critical damage on top of the critical damage you already have, which is an augment in great. Okay, Azepbur. 20% chance to cause a hull breach for 2 rounds after hitting with a kinetic weapon. 10% to armor piercing every time the ship hits. I want you to understand, as I'm reading this, you hear kinetic weapon. What type of ship class does kinetic weapons belong to mostly? Well, I'm going to explain that. Interceptor class ships are kinetic weapon ships. Battleships and explorers are both either kinetic in energy or energy and energy. Okay? Depends on what level you're at. We're going to Koth. We're going to read his abilities. Plus 20% to repair speed on this ship if it is an interceptor. Now, the reason I brought you into here is Romulan battleship. Klingon interceptor. You catching on? Plus 10% to kinetic damage while the opponent has a hull breach. That's awesome. Once it has a hull breach, you get plus 10% to kinetic damage while the opponent has a hull breach. So that's not bad. As you've hull breached and got them burning as well with all the extra ones that ones do at top, Koth. Oops. Yeah, was that Koth? Yeah. Plus 10% to kinetic damage while the opponent has a hull breach is awesome. Now we're going to go to Waytolan. plus 10% damage to the opponent is a battleship. Well, obviously you want them on an interceptor class ship because the triangle of combat, interceptor kills battleship, battleship kills explorer, explorer kills interceptor. So you'll want an interceptor to hit a battleship, which means he's best on an interceptor. Plus 20% dodge when aboard on an interceptor, as you read his secondary, so you know he belongs on an interceptor class ship. If used on any other ship, you are not only negating his abilities, but all you're getting is his power level, health, and that's it. These abilities will not work. Maybe his plus 20% to damage to the opponent is a battleship on an explorer class ship, but he gets 20% to dodge when aboard an interceptor class ship. So I'd obviously want him on an interceptor before I'd want him on an explorer. Okay, let's go to Emerald, one of my favorites. Plus 20% to armor piercing, plus 15% bonus to attack of the crew. So the 15% bonus to all your attack abilities will augment your attack abilities. Anywhere on the bridge that you put Emerald will help. But plus 20% to armor piercing would be in the captain's chair only. So if you have Emerald and say a left or right side on the bridge, you will not get to use that plus 20% to armor piercing unless in the captain's chair. So you're learning that the top ability is used in the captain's chair. The secondary ability is used in each of the other chairs, but their top ability will be obsolete. I hope you understand this, and I'm glad you watched today. Remember, Romulan battleship. Klingon will be your interceptor crews for PvP purposes. These are for PvP, just so you know. Now, my setup is usually Azepper, okay? Koth, and Kurla. Why? Because you get plus 20% critical damage with kinetic weapons on an interceptor. Why Azepper? Plus 10% to armor piercing every time the ship hits. And why Koth? Plus 10% to kinetic damage while the opponent has a hull breach. These are the reasons why I use those ones on my interceptor. But with Gorkin as captain and Azepper and Koth is also another setup I would use on the bridge. Chang, I don't really use that often because his abilities, you need to be, although you get that plus 10% to damage if the opponent's hull health is under 60%. Well, you get no extra from him until a ship is under 60%. So he really doesn't do anything in the captain's chair until the ship has been depleted almost down to nothing. And usually only got maybe one or two rounds after that. Okay? Also, 35% chance to delay opponent's weapon fire with a critical hit on a hull breach. Again, that only works if you have a hull breach. That is why I don't use him that often, but I do put him in my secondary auxiliary slots, along with the rest of these particular officers in this particular class of Klingon recruits. I use them on interceptors. The ones I use on the bridge I've just explained. Good luck, Godspeed, and Pitbull Guard Dog has been here again today, invading your living room space or any place you are watching this video. Have a great one, everybody.